New cars are terrible investments. Most new cars depreciate like a rock falling off of a ship. However, if I had to buy one car with the knowledge that A, it'll probably hold its value pretty well, and B, might even appreciate in the next year or two, well, Case, it would be this car next to us.
This is the Mark V Supra Final Edition, and Tommy and I have seen something kind of interesting in some other Toyota products. It's not new to say that Toyotas hold value really well, but one interesting thing we notice is with the 200 Series Land Cruiser Heritage Edition, after not that much time when those stopped production, they actually shot up in value quite a bit. And it could be, very likely, the same situation with this car.
Yeah, especially when you consider what's happening to manual Supra prices right now for just the standard cars. They are incredibly desirable, in some cases selling for more than sticker. So when you combine that excitement with a limited edition final version of the Mark V, well, this could be something really good for your pocketbook. But Case, we don't buy cars for the pocketbook, right?
No, and it's not typically the reason that we recommend something. However, obviously finances are important, and it's worth considering with this vehicle if you're shopping for this and maybe some other luxury car, performance car. There's a good chance, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but pretty dependably, this is likely to hold value better than most.
Especially when you consider this in here. Case, show them the plaque.
Yeah, this is one of the things that makes this car interesting. If you look at the plaque right here, you'll see it says limited to 1,300 units produced. And it says right there at the top, Mark V Final Edition. That's a pretty cool thing that makes this car, to your point, even more unique. And again, especially if you spec it with a manual transmission, not only is it going to be more fun to drive, which we've tested, we've had these cars by the office and they're way fun with a 6-speed, that's probably also going to make it hold value better.
And that 1,300 for North America is not the full story because, Case, I'm going to ask you to turn around there and zoom in on that black car.
Oh, it's way off in the distance.
It's way in there.
Let's see.
See if we can get that shot. So that car has the GT4 style package. You can see some graphics. It's this cool kind of matte black. That's actually one of 400 of the 1,300. So
yeah, so it's pretty cool. They've added a lot to that car in addition to what we're looking at here with this particular vehicle we're walking around.
So 400 of the GT4 style pack cars, which leaves just 900 of these normal final editions, which is pretty cool. And Case, kind of walk us through some of the ways you can tell a final edition from a standard Supra.
There's a few interesting things you'll notice. There's these spats, as they call them, in front of the front wheels. That's not that noticeable. There are carbon fiber mirror caps, but my personal favorite piece is this carbon fiber ducktail spoiler on the rear, which really adds a lot to the shape, the silhouette, profile of the car. It's pretty nice to look.
Looks great. And these wheels are awesome too. So 19-inch wheels in this matte black finish. Usually not a fan of black wheels, but with this matte finish, I think it looks really good. And then let's talk about some of the mechanical differences, because it's not just spats and wings. There are some changes underneath the skin.
Yeah, this car has been around long enough and they've done quite a bit of testing with it, on the track, research and development. They didn't just sit around and let the car be. They've gone through and refined quite a few things. So changes to the electric power steering, made some changes to the suspension, like the sway bars, some of the camber. They made some adjustments to camber. It's got bigger Brembo brakes. So they've done a little bit to make the car perform better and be more refined, in addition to just making a few tweaks to the styling.
Even when you consider like some of the responsiveness of the rear diff, the traction programming, all that's been tweaked a little bit for the final edition to make this a better handler. Now, Case, I'm going to take the camera from you, and why don't you pop the hood and we'll talk about this this unique engine in this thing.
Yeah, and on that note, and in BMW fashion, I've got to pull the lever twice. But what we've got under the hood is an engine that both Tommy and I have tested quite a bit and we like a lot. It's a B58 3-liter inline 6.
Yeah, so horsepower 382, torque 368, so it's the same horsepower and torque as the standard Supra. But Case, this engine has proven itself to be very receptive over the years to some pretty big power adders.
Yeah, absolutely. True to the Supra's heritage, back when it had a 2J like we all loved, this car is infinitely tunable. There's a lot of people hot rodding these vehicles. I know initially when this car came out, people obviously knew about the BMW connection and were a little iffy on that. There's probably still some people that are. However, these vehicles have proved to be a great platform for people to make some pretty insane high horsepower vehicles out of. And I love some of the details. This bracing here under the hood looks really sharp. It's a nice looking car, in red especially, some of the red accents there on the engine cover, on the brake calipers. It's all really nice stuff.
Well, let's go ahead and close it up, Case, and talk about the interior on the Supra. Now, one thing I do want to mention, which is a little bit of a disappointment, is in Europe and in Japan, they have an A90 Final Edition, which you'd kind of expect to be the same car, but it's very different. It has over 400 horsepower, major suspension changes, got different interior, different seats. So I kind of feel like they're not giving us the best of the best for the Final Edition, but that kind of is what it is, right?
Which is fair. Yeah, this is definitely a much more mild package, but it's still got some pretty nice, welcome refinements. I would say if you've got an older Mark V Supra, it's not like you need to rush out and get one of these because it's not going to be a night and day difference. As Tommy says, it'd be more like a night and late evening difference.
Late afternoon difference.
Late afternoon. But if I fire it up, we can take a look at some of the technology, some of the screens, stuff that if you're a BMW fan or if you've been in Supras of the past would look pretty familiar, but Tommy at least feels like the system is showing a little bit of age.
Yeah, definitely. When you consider like it's running what's essentially an older version of iDrive, it's got some of the older BMW switchgear for the climate control and the radio. It's not the brand new stuff that you'd expect.
Which is fair. I still think that this is a really nice interior. I like the way that it looks and feels a lot. I love the gauge cluster. I like that we've still got some physical buttons. Again, I would pick, yeah, Tommy's showing the gauge cluster. It's a really great looking screen setup. But if I were picking this car, like Tommy as well, I would like to go for the manual transmission. But yeah, this is not our personal car. Tomorrow, however, we are going to get an opportunity to drive this vehicle. This video is just a first look, so we can check out the car, talk about some of the features that it's got. Tommy, if you want to go to the rear, I could give it a rev as well.
Yeah, let's see what this thing sounds like. Case, go for it. Sounds really good for a stock car.
Again, and that's straight out of the factory. Most of us have heard what these cars sound like when they're uncorked, and a good straight six makes an awesome, awesome sound.
So these cars are on sale right now. Supra's pricing starts about $60,000 for the standard car. This one starts at about $68,500 plus destination. You're essentially at 70 grand.
Yeah, and you have to also factor that there's very likely going to be some dealer markups. So hopefully some buyers out there will be able to find one close to that sticker price. But once again, we don't expect that you're going to be finding these cars at a massive discount below sticker price anytime soon. Don't hold out for that.
I genuinely think that this is going to be an excellent investment if you can afford the entry. And it's a cool car that I think is going to age really well. Unique design. It's proven to be very reliable and tunable in this generation. So controversial designs often are the ones that people look back at with the most fondness. And I bet when we look back at this day in 15, 20 years, they're going to be like, dang, we probably should have bought one.
Yeah, if we had the money, which I don't think either of us do. But
no.
We are lucky enough to get to drive this car, be here at the First Drive event, and that video, like I said, is going to be coming up very soon, where you can actually see this car in action, moving on the track. We're in Napa Valley, a little outside of San Francisco. We're going to be at Sonoma. It's going to be pretty exciting.
All right, guys, head over to alltfl.com if you want to see that driving review. Check out Grainger Warranties if you want the best extended warranty for your new car or truck. They work across several different vehicles. Also, factory back parts, which is cool. And head over to alltfl.com. We got more videos on this thing coming soon.
See you next time.